go to finish fixing this broken Honda. There's an Audi out in the parking lot. How you guys doing? Let's get the shop opened up, take a quick look at the weather, see what we can get done today. Gotta have lights to do it though. Can't be working in the dark. Sun is coming up, big ugly box fan blocking it. But I can still see that beautiful sunrise. And that's what matters. Brighten my day just a little bit more. I hope it brightens yours a little bit. I'm gonna move that ugly box truck. The clouds are really nice where the light rolls off the clouds. How you guys doing? I appreciate you tuning in. I'm glad you're here. We're gonna spend a day in the repair shop. We're gonna fix European exotics, Japanese cars, domestics, Mexican-built domestics, Canadian-built domestics, all of them. We fix them all right here. I gotta finish up this Honda CR-V real quick. I just gotta put coolant in it and put the tires on it. And there's a couple cars out in the parking lot, so we'll have plenty to do today. We should have some fun, and we might learn a thing or two. Me and you. Stay tuned. Good to the last drop. Can't send him out with a tire light on. Let's go in there and see how this thing runs. What do you say? I mean, want to verify our work, right? Let's do it. Gotta push this button right here. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. I'll turn off the brights. There you go. Alright, I'm going to check the coolant level, make sure the coolant level's good. Take this thing for a little drive. Radiator's full up. I'm going to let it run a little while. We were just talking about this the other day too, where GM covers the radiator cap. So does Honda apparently. I said I haven't seen a vehicle other than GM doing it yet. Well, now I have. So luckily this one just snaps on. You don't have to take 12 or 15 clips out of it. So kind of strange they're doing it. Someone was pointing out that it might have been an environmental thing. They don't want customers open radiator caps, or maybe people are getting burned because they're opening them when they're hot. So they're taking away your ability to check it easily yourself. I'm not sure. It's a good theory. I mean, why wouldn't they just put a hole there? But I don't know. This one's about ready for a drive. Once it heat cycles and I can recheck the coolant level and then snap it back on again, I'm probably going to drive it and then let it cool and then check it. I think we'll do that. I'm going to do the door latch on this here Suzuki, and they also want to change the oil and do front brakes. There's no parts available for it, so we had to order the brake pads. They probably won't come in till tomorrow. And there was no door latches available for it, all discontinued, so we had to get one from a salvage yard. So we're going to replace the worn out original one with a worn out replacement one. At least that's how it goes sometimes. We'll see. Got to get the door panel off first. Looks like Phillips screws mostly, and then there'll probably be some clips around the perimeter. You don't get big fancy words like perimeter on just any YouTube channel. Just this one. Perimeter. I said it again. How do you like that? Every once in a while I'll look up a big word so I could use it and sound smart. Why does that not want to come out? I thought it would come out. I don't see anything else holding it. What do you think? Sometimes a little tug will tell you. Sometimes it won't. This cover is part of the door. It doesn't come off. This will work. Oh yeah, some serious door panel clips in there. Feels like there's still something holding it. See You don't want to break this, especially because you can't get parts for it. It's definitely something going on with this thing that's kind of weird. The slides have a little slide. Wasn't that big of a deal. I had to go back a little harder. I was being too gentle. You guys know how gentle I am. That's the problem. You gotta be more aggressive. You want to make things happen. One electrical connector away from having this door panel out of my way. I almost had to threaten it and finally let go. Just about had to threaten it. Can't get the plastic out of my way with that there. Now we got progress. I feel like I'm getting somewhere. Moving up to the east side, a deluxe apartment in the sky. You guys ever see that show? Probably not old enough. The replacement parts have been tweaked a little bit, so I'm gonna untweak them. This bend looks like it's supposed to be there. This bend's supposed to be there. The reason I went and got the part, it just came in. I wanted to see what I got to discobuberate to get it out of there. That's how it sits in the... Can you guys see that? Alright, let me lift your head up a little bit. There you go. There you can see a little better. It goes like this. There you go. It goes like this. So, now I know exactly what I got to do to get the old one out. This electrical connector is one of the things. That's a nice connector. I'm tempted to save this kind of stuff. And then it sits in a big old pile. And then years later I throw it away because it's in my way and I don't know why I kept it. You guys do that? I can't stop myself. Let's see what's going on up in here. A plastic clip of some, there it is. Door handle outside. Alright, should be an electrical connector and the 3 Phillips in the door jamb that hold the latch to the door. And this thing should be out. Something else holding it. I don't see anything. That's weird. Okay, just a little goop. It had some goop on it. Electrical connector. Plastic clip. Oh, that's nice. That thing is out of there. Tell you what, it was way easier than I thought it would be. A lot of these vehicles, the glass channel traps the latch, but this has like a quarter window here, so the glass channel's in front of the latch. Super easy. You guys want to see what happened to this latch? The little this piece of plastic goes something along these lines and holds this all together. So once this broke off, the spring can't push on the latch to keep it latched. So plastic failure, although it's 20 years old, so how long do you expect plastic to last? And if your car is made out of plastic, what's going to happen? Sadly, there's more and more plastic in every car nowadays. Disposable, like televisions. I just got a new one, just because we wanted a bigger one. Nothing wrong with the old one though. 65 inches wasn't going to cut it anymore. Got to keep up with the Joneses. Ooh, I hope this thing works. Nice. That would definitely be nice. Ah, they got the screws in the way. I appreciate them bringing me the screws, but now I got to take them out of my way. I didn't notice.
That's what I told her yesterday. Okay. She said she would be by after lunch.
Did she say liar, liar, pants on fire?
She said I got her flying more. And I heard her say
I don't want to get this done too fast. There's nothing else to do yet. gotta put this one in too. All right, it should be buttery. All right, feeling very much a new car vibe. A couple of Phillips screws right chilling. Only goes into plastic, don't get crazy. Window switch. Hook the top in first. Make sure my little lever's ready to go. What more you need? Now you won't be able to see this, but I'm gonna put that bar in and then flip this little lever around and snap it on the linkage. So the only thing that keeps it in place. Put one more screw. Then we'll be done. Alright, let's see if this thing latches and the window still works, which it worked before, so hopefully it still works. Tested the door lock, tested the latch, and I tested the handle. Like a brand new car! Got their extension cord in the seat, ready to go. Everybody wins. Let's move this Suzuki Aki over to the alignment rack. Hello! Where it'll make the oil change a little easier. Alright, let's get this thing ready for an oil change. You guys know the rules. Little dipstick. Note, take a note, it's broken. I didn't break it. Is anyone else bothered by rags laying around the shop? Just me? I don't know. I just feel like there's a place for everything. And you can always find stuff if you put it where it goes. Oil filter somewhere up in this mess. Oh, there it is. Okay, found it. Oop. Got some handy rags in case I need those. It looks like our filter on there, Napa Pro Select. Maybe I won't need a tool to get it off. Because most of the guys here tighten them correctly. Not too loose, not too tight. That's nice. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Just a matter of time. They actually take good care of this car as far as oil changes go. Because the oil doesn't look that bad and the filter wasn't that old. But they're changing it because it's been a year. And they tried to go to Walmart. Walmart said, we won't change the oil on it because it's leaking so bad. But the leak's really, it's not pouring oil out. It is leaking. You can see it's leaking. But it wasn't even a quart low. So I'm going to do the oil filter for them, air up the tires, top off the fluids. We already did the door latch. I noticed the front brakes were really low yesterday, so she wants to do the front brakes. But those parts, like I said earlier, they won't be until tomorrow, so we'll do what we can for now. There's nothing else to do, except maybe my project truck. A lot of room to get the filter up there. The rag doesn't stop you from getting messy, it just reduces the mess. You guys had a smudge on your eye. I had to get it off. You may have noticed it, may not have, I don't know. I just noticed it. I don't know how long it's been on there. I apologize. Let's clean this mess up a little bit. While we're cleaning things, camera lenses and stuff, might as well clean some of this mess. I'm calling that good enough. We'll let that run a minute. Oh, gravity check the old wore out washer. That's terrible. We'll get a new one. We got these cool washers with the O-ring built in. Fits the drain plug perfect, so that might have been one of the leaks. It's hard to tell because oil comes down from above it and dripping on it, but that's good. Give that a little spritz. Serve Pro like it never even happened. The only thing we want evident is that we fix stuff. Always send them out the door cleaner than they came in. Let the alignment machine air up all 4 tires.
You want me to throw all that firewood in that burn barrel?
They were all a little bit low, but it won't be when we're done. They're telling me this takes 5.8 quarts of dinosaur blood, and I don't know, this little B6, that's a lot. I'm gonna put 5 quarts in and then check it, just in case. It's easier to add another quart than it is to take one out. Something not right. I mean, honestly, that guide's usually pretty accurate, but I just have my own doubts. That's something I have to deal with. Let's see where we're at. Huh. Okay. 5.8 quarts it is. .7 liter engine, 5.7 liters of dinosaur. Fast and furious, bro. Oh, you can't even make it face the right way. That's terrible. It's threaded. It's like the manufacturers know what they're doing. It's facing you guys, so it looks the right way to you, I guess, right? Alright, took a couple quarts of coolant. Makes me a little bit sad. I showed you guys this yesterday. She declined the hoses. She said, I don't see anything on the ground. But I had to add 1.5 quarts to the radiator and 1 quart to the overflow. It was empty. So, which is a good sign actually that it's a very slow leak, because if the leak's bad, it won't pull coolant out of the overflow. The overflow can stay full. It won't draw it in because it draws it in with a vacuum. So if it has a leak, it can't produce a vacuum as it cools. So something to think about too. So it's probably not that bad, but I'm worried if it's a little old lady and a little old guy couple, and this is their only transportation and they don't drive a lot. I told them the next thing you need to do is those radiator hoses. So, but this one's done. I just got to put a sticker in there, pull it around. I'm going to put it in the back till the brake parts come in, and then we're going to do pads and rotors probably tomorrow. We'll see. The gobstopper, actually, he said, man, the transmission's shifting so good. Can you guys fix the turn signals? And my AC's not as cold as it should be. Take a look at that too. I said, okay. So Riley and I have been going around checking all the fuses. All the fuses are good. So it's going to be the flasher module, turn signal multifunction switch, or a wire broken, but I doubt it's a wire. Since it looks like the wiring diagram, everything has its own circuit. So they're going to get me a flasher module. It's under the kick panel on the driver's side. We're just going to go ahead and plug a flasher module in real quick. It'll probably fix it. Most of the time it does. The lights blink with the key fob, but not with the turn signals. So one thing we can try One thing you can try sometimes is jiggling the turn signal switch. You listen down here. I'm doing the turn signal. You get one click out of the flasher module, it goes click, but it never turns the lights on. So it's probably what the problem is. We're gonna try it. I'll shotgun that one and we'll see what happens. It's a module about this big with 10 wires going to it. Does the hazards and everything. So, and we're gonna take a look at his AC too. I'll show you guys a good use of this TB6000 Pro. While you're working on a vehicle, you don't want the battery to go dead. You're gonna have the doors open, you're doing electrical testing. Plug this bad Johnny in. I have some side terminal adapters if I need them, but these alligator clips are pretty aggressive. I think they'll probably stay on. 12.7 volts. I'll hook this up while I'm testing this GMC's lighting problems, and this will trickle charge the battery so that the battery won't discharge while I work on it. I don't have to rush and worry about having a dead battery when I'm done. The way this works, you scroll through the menu with the power button, pick out what process you want. Small battery, LiPo, 6 volt. When you decide on what one you want, you push it twice rapidly and it'll start. Tells you the battery's at 85%. And it's going to start trickle charging the battery. It'll charge up to, I believe it's 6 amps. And then it'll drop down the amperage rate as the battery gets charged. Then it'll just maintain. It's been working pretty handily for me if I'm working on a vehicle that I know I'm going to have the doors open messing with something for a while. I don't have to hook up the big battery charger. I can just put this trickle charger on. Oh, what are you guys kidding me? That's a 7. That's a 7. What are you doing getting an 8? Silly. Come on! I know it's up in here somewhere. We'll find it. Master Yoda has taught you well, young Luke Skywalker. That's what we're going to call Riley from now on. I think I'm going to start calling Riley Skywalker. That's his new name. Sorry if you don't like it. Skywalker. Uh-oh. I can't see it. Oh, there it is. This should be the module right here. It's on the way, and we'll just plug her in and see what happens. And I'm pretty confident it's going to fix it. If not, I'll look a little silly. And I'll show you guys that too, because I don't mind being silly. Obviously. Check the status on the top down. 13.5 volts, 4.7 amps. So this thing's going to be completely topped off. It's actually charging the battery while I work on the lights and stuff. I decided to unwrap the cords. Pretty long, so you don't have to worry about stepping over it and tripping with it going across here. Cords are pretty long, so it comes in handy. All right, 2006 Scion XB. Same. My wife had an 04, same color. Customer states, I got a misfire. I said, Jimmy, you got a car on the back rack. If you could take a look. Oh, geez Louise, what the heck? There's a lot of stuff going on here, folks, and I'm afraid to sit in it. I don't really have a lot of choice, though, do I? Let's let's get the scan tool hooked up. Try to be careful we don't catch anything. And where is it? There it is. All right, we're gonna do what we have to do, folks. That's how we roll around here. Let's get in it and just absorb whatever we need to absorb. Get these communicating. Apparently, it's got a misfire and a check engine light on, and it gets a love rating of 1. So it is a little older. Otherwise, I'd give it a 0.5. But since it's a 2006, it's had a lot of time to be abused. Someone did something with the steering wheel. I don't know what that is on it. Look at this. I don't. What is that? Oh, I'm so grossed out right now. I'm trying not to let you guys tell. But luckily, if you're hungry, got snacks. And there's plenty of napkins. You know, if you got to wipe your face or something, you get a little booger or something, you got to get. You're ready to go, man. Odometer, 142,641 miles on this little tiny Scion economy car. The oil change was due at 137,508. So we know these 5,000 miles overdue on the oil change if the sticker's accurate. So that tells you something. Oh, is it a Lexus or a Toyota? Toyota. It's awful noisy out there in the world. Oh, that's nice. We're gonna go ahead and do a scan on this thing. Phew, it smells. It smells like food and paper. Maybe there's a reason. Oh, and ties. It smells like ties too. Ties don't smell. What do you? 16-pin DLC. Let me get this thing chatting, and we'll come back see what's going on with codes. Feels like it's got a misfiring cylinder, either from running it with no oil in the engine or bad coil. One of those two things. And we're gonna figure that out next. Some stuff is happening. It's not gonna have an AC module, is it? Oh, it does. Look at that, huh? It made me put it in as a Yaris. If anyone's wondering what platform these Scions were built on, apparently it's a Yaris. Only has 2 modules. That's super handy. Cylinder 2, cylinder 2, cylinder 2. Well, I'm thinking that the current history pending, so I'm guessing we got a problem in cylinder 2. We're going to go ahead and enter cylinder 2. Enter the ECM, and we'll get a look at some misfire data, either in special function, nope, or actuation test, nope, or data stream. Now I got to find all cylinder misfire count. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, start it up. Graph. Yep, cylinder 2 is the only one not coming to the party. Let's not get this any hotter. I'm going to go out under the hood, pull number 2 coil and plug, take a look at it, probably move it. If you guys have seen my other videos, it's one of the first things I go to. It's quick and easy. When you're on flat rate, you want to figure it out quick. Moving the coil and plug is real quick and easy on most vehicles, as long as it's not a Nissan 4-cylinder. I know this one's pretty easy, so let's do that. I'm guessing he parks it under a beautiful oak tree. Just a hunch, I'm playing. Gotta get this out of the way. These 2 front bolts you don't have to take all the way out. Toyota was kind enough to slot them for you. I do not like to break these. Toyotas are one of the more fragile ones when it comes to these coil connectors. And since I'm moving the coil, I have to unplug it. 10mm on that, just like on the engine cover. I like to look at the coil real quick for burn through. I don't like the look of that. I don't see any clear evidence. Let's get a look at that plug. Pittsburgh ratchet, Pittsburgh extension, snap-on spark plug socket. They're getting along. I don't see what the problem is for people online. The tools don't seem to mind. I bought those Williams extensions wanting to get a quality US made tool, but they don't have the knurling here, so I don't really use them very often. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at that spark plug. Yep. Not only does it look like it's got a coil misfire going on, but it's wore out. Bikers are so noisy. Alright, I'm not even going to move this spark plug. I'm going to look at it for cracks. I don't see any. I'm going to grab a test coil out of the back and we'll put it on cylinder 2 and see if it runs good without a misfire. How about that? It's an executive decision. Just made one right there. Alright, it needs a tune-up for sure. But first we'll see if a coil's going to fix it real quick. Let me grab one out of our test pile. Here we got us a Toyota Denso coil. Not the same exact one, but same electrical connector. Yeah, push it on there, see how this thing runs. Now the car definitely needs a tune-up, and the problem is when you run your spark plugs that worn out, it's a lot harder on the coils, and they're more likely to go bad. They go bad often enough as it is. So, oop. Purring like a kitten. No scopes, no borescopes, no compression tests. That's stuff that you do when something simple isn't going to be the problem. You know, a lot of people, I notice a lot of YouTube channels, and I've said this before, if you've seen a lot of my videos, I apologize, but a lot of YouTube channels make you feel like you're not adequate enough and you're not doing enough. But in reality, especially the flat rate world where I live, you start with the simple, easy to figure out things first. You can do simple tests. You can throw a test part at it if you've got parts like we keep a whole bunch of coils and map sensors and mass airflow sensors laying around, and you put it in the car and see if it fixes it. There's no need to go in there. If you follow a flow chart, I would have spent 3 hours figuring out cylinder number 2 had a bad coil. Because it starts off with you ohming injectors and testing PCM control circuits and crazy stuff. But in the real world where I live, I'm gonna grab a coil and throw it in there and see if it fixes it, and it did. So it's less than 10 minutes, and I know what's wrong with this car. I get my diag time, let him know he needs a tune-up and a coil, and we'll see if he wants to fix it, right? If not, I'll pop that coil back out, put his in, and send him down the road. But most of the time, a job like that's not too crazy expensive, so they'll probably fix it. So we'll see what happens with this, and we'll come back. All right, we got the old Napa turn signal flasher module. I guess I shouldn't put this up yet till I try it. Let's see. Oh, it's already blinking. It's blinking outside too? Oh man, that's nice. Look at that son of a gun, huh? Let's see if the outside light's blinking in the back. Ta-da! Alright, so that's fixed. Now we're going to take a look at the AC. Once I put this panel back up, that'll be real quick. It's almost always the flasher module on these. You check fuse 22. If fuse 22 is good, it's probably that module. So I've done so many of them. Little shotgun action. Let's roll the AC machine over here. The old Top Don's gone into maintenance mode. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect it so I'm doing my electrical work. Alright, AC is hooked up and low on freon, it looks like. He said something about sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it kills the battery overnight. I'm going to try evac and recharge and see how much freon it's low on. This should be much higher. I had a little problem getting the high side fitting, like this initial going on with that Schrader as well. It has that little plastic dome stupid valve in them that always leaks. It gets deteriorated and jams it open, so it leaks freon. So I might have to mess with that when I take the hoses off. It might leak. We will see. Let's shut this thing off and pull the freon out, see how much freon it has in it. Look at all of those parts we got. Don't you feel lucky? This here, it's gonna be like a brand new car soon. Well, if you don't look inside, but it's gonna run like a brand new car at least. Very important on these to find that corner. Put the corner in the right place. And the corner goes in the front on the driver's side. It also makes it so you can't put it upside down because it won't fit in the airbox correctly. I see a lot of these not put back together correctly as well. But if you take the snorkel off the front, they're kind of stiff. Catch the ears in the back. Snap your snaps. That was easy. All right. 1 coil, 4 plugs. Now I'm going to try not to disconnect all the coils. Why tempt fate, you know what I'm saying? Only the ones that were replaced. Oh, jeez Louise. Oh, don't worry, we got one right here. Who needs it? Gravity check my butt. I don't care. I'll leave it right where it fell. And let somebody else go. Did Jimmy leave a coil boot off? No, he didn't. That's my test coil. It's going back where it was. Since we're doing more than one, I'm going to give the pickle juicers a break and go to power tools. That wasn't very tight. You know, all the spark plugs are worn really bad. That's no good. One of the biggest effects on gas mileage you can have is replacing your worn spark plugs with new ones. Air atomizers, tubular vanes in your air intake system, things like that. Those are all snake oil, they don't work. Keeping your air filter in good shape and your spark plugs and your tires properly inflated. That's your biggest impact on gas mileage. Your fuel economy is engineered into the car based on rolling friction, aerodynamics, power to weight ratio, final gearing, engine speed, things like that. Everything else is just spending money and not any appreciable gains in gas mileage. Having these spark plugs so old, he had to be down a mile or two to the gallon. Like, I mean, these are bad. I've seen worse, but they're bad. Always check to make sure your ground electrode hasn't been damaged. Little dielectric grease on all these coils, including the new one if it doesn't already have it in there. Don't put tons of it in there because electricity doesn't really like to go through dielectric grease. It's more of an insulator than a conductor, but it keeps the boots from sticking in place and it keeps moisture out, so moisture doesn't get up in between the boot and the plug and things like that, because there is condensation in that little chamber. When the engine cools and heats, it creates condensation, right? Take a look at that new coil, see what it looks like. Made in Poland. Ah, lots of good stuff comes out of Poland these days. Even Eklund ignition coils. Oh, no dielectric. Right in the garbage can like a... Who says I can't shoot baskets? There's no contest where you shoot empty boxes in the garbage cans, is there? Is there a sport for that? I'm guessing no. I'll put the new coil on cylinder 2 since we identified that one after the diagnosis as the problem cylinder. Oh, I hear the AC machine going off on the GMC in there. I'm going to look at the rear evaporator, make sure it's not showing any traces of dye. Everything looks pretty dry. But there's a leak somewhere. It's only about half full. Who knows when the last time it was checked is. I'm not even working on that vehicle right now. Can't help but wonder though.
I smell Chinese food. Did you fart, Jimmy?
Yep.
Don't let me sit there and say your farts smell good. That's not nice.
A little bit.
You don't smell Chinese or barbecue or teriyaki?
No.
Do you smell teriyaki?
Yes.
He's
Do you?
probably look in his car. It's probably come out of his car.
Johnny, it's just one of those
Did you look in the car?
Asking for me?
Yeah, he asked for you by name.
He knows who I am.
Yes.
Did you look inside?
What's in the
No,
car?
I smell good smells right now. I smell like barbecue. Obviously he's not up on maintenance, but he does wear a tie.
It's 5,000 miles overdue on his oil change.
You want to pull it around and I'll go.
He says he's going to do the oil change himself. So, we get it running good. I checked the oil level. It's about 3/4 of a quart low. It's still in the hash marks, so. Oh man, all the power of that 1.8 liter firing the life. It's something to behold. I'm still kind of wondering what this is on here. Did someone spray something on the wheel? I don't know. No worries, no worries. I'm gonna take a little drive. Maintenance required, lights on. With these cars, once you change the oil, you put it on trip A, you turn the key off, you hold trip A down while you turn the key on, you'll get 5 little blinky dots and they'll go 4, 3, 2, 1, bink, reset. So that's how you do these, but we're not doing the oil change, so we're not going to do that. I did clear the codes out before I took my scanner off earlier. I went ahead and cleared the codes out because they seemed pretty confident up front that he was going to fix it. So I don't have to get my scanner back out again. I saved some time. That's how you do it. I'm going to try to keep my 30-hour weeks going. I had that one, I did 62 hours a couple weeks ago. And then the bottom dropped out, and it's 30-hour weeks last week, and it looks like this week might be too. Hopefully not, we'll see. Oh, that's a little better. A little bit of dye. Charge it with Freon, 2.65 because it has dual air. I'm gonna put it on the drive on the back and take a look at the evaporator area, see if I can see dye there. Everything else looks good up here. Bill got the transmission back in the old Corvette. It's definitely leaking less than it was. Looks like it's got maybe a couple little tiny issues leaking, but those old cars, if it wasn't leaving big puddles everywhere you went, you were pretty happy. Back then everyone didn't own a $500,000 house, so get on there. I gotta look at the mirror ahead, make sure I'm guided on there straight. This lift's kind of narrow. Normally, if you know how to drive, you're not gonna come off of a drive-on lift. But this one pushes the limits a little bit. So we put a mirror up, just in case. Let's see if I can spot some dye. Man, it's cold as heck, I'll tell you that much. Haven't turned off the key. Once you open the door, the retained accessory power relay shuts off and the window won't work anymore until you turn the key back on. You guys might know that. I'm not sure how many viewers are mechanics, how many aren't. Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments if your car has retained accessory power relays or not. All that means is for a certain amount of time, your windows and radio will continue to work after you turn the key off. That is nice. Transmission still bone dry. Everything looks good. AC lines pretty dry. All the way to the back. All the way to the back. Isn't that interesting? Oh, they cross over, go over the spare tire and go to the other side. That makes sense. The hoses look dry. Interesting. I'm gonna get my dye light and see if that little AC drain shows any green or yellow in it. I also found out more information about his the AC staying on. He said the AC stays on sometimes and kills the battery. So he has to listen to make sure the rear fan isn't running when he gets out of the car. If the rear fan stays running and he goes in and turns the key on and off a few times till it stops. So it sounds to me like there's a relay sticking. The little contacts in the relay, every time they open and close, there's a slight arc because it's opening and closing a circuit, which is one of the reasons they're having a hard time. They want to go to 24 or 36 volt systems, but all the relays are welding themselves shut, which happens over time. The relay gets a lot of use, it'll weld itself shut and stay on. But usually when you turn a key off, you take away the voltage that goes to it anyway, it would shut everything off, so it's kind of weird. I'm going to take a peek at a wiring diagram, see how that rear blower fan works. We may have to chase after a problem with a relay, something like that. Could even be just a BCM leaving it on because it's going kooky. So let's look that up and we'll come back to this one if we see anything else with that. And I'll let you know if I spot a dye on that drain.
They're more resistant. Hey,
Get a visual.
kind of get your ears too.
Yeah.
You may want to start buying ear protection. We're
Slap
going to do
that
this on a
bitch.
regular basis.
Are we ready? Do I need eye
Do you want
protection for the hearing?
You can wear these safety glasses.
Safety first.
Safety first, guys.
Quickie, well, hopefully it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it.
I can't see.
Those aren't
How hard?
safety
What do you gotta
glasses,
see to
bunch of
put the
glasses.
lever?
I'm gonna see where it goes.
Hey, that's pretty far. That's not bad for a plastic cup.
That bird was.
When you buy an air cannon and you're a little bit bored because it's slow at the end of the day, this is what happens. Sadly, we don't have any potatoes available right now. Gobstopper number 2, it's back overheating. It's got a bad head gasket, so that's for another day. That looks like it'll work. Alright guys, that's it for today. We're all closed up. Time to lock this place down. Thanks for watching today's video. I appreciate you guys. I hope you'll torque the like button or subscribe. Support the channel, it really helps a lot. Maybe leave a comment about what you think about the day. You guys are awesome. I hope I see you in the next video.